Anthony, you read my mind. You're like Radar O'Reilly.
Yeah.
You know, you show up and you do exactly what's needed just before I ask for it. So thank you. Perfect. And then there's Larry. Okay, we'll go around the horn here. I have got my, there it is. Got a few things to cover tonight. So welcome to the May 2026 W7PRA meeting. I am Paul N0VLR, chair of the board.
Yeah.
Let's do some introductions. And let's see, on the Hollywood Squares, I have first the southern outpost of Paul.
Paul Branchfield, W7PEB from between Roseburg and Winston, somewhere.
Awesome. Good to see you, Paul. And good to work with you at 7QP as well. I'm sure that'll be a topic we'll chat about tonight.
Yeah.
Share some insights. Mr. Ron, has he got his audio working?
I think my audio is working, hopefully. And
Yep.
it's Ron Post, AE4JL, in the big town of Millersburg.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Ron. Thank you
I'm
for all
busy
you do.
updating our website, so that's why I was distracted.
Yep. No worries. I'll put a plug out there in a few minutes. Professor Shelby.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Mike W7RIS, about 10 miles north of Cornwallis, and a really nice day outside, although most of my day was spent inside working on some other things that I had to get done. Anyway, one other kind of interesting comment was, this year we had absolutely premium weather up there. It's for 7QP. Yesterday, I checked the Ochako Pass up there. That's at about 4,700 feet. Where we were at 5,500 feet. There was a nice lining of snow all along the pass up there. Gee whiz, we just missed it this year.
Huh.
Shucks.
Wow. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm sure more topics and memories will come out of that. Andy, sign in, please.
Hi, Andy, W7AAU in Oakville, which is in Lynn County between Corvallis and Tangent.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for being our treasurer. Do appreciate you. Sharp and snappy dresser. That's the first time when I first met Ted back in 2012, he introduced himself as W7RTM Sharp and Snappy Dresser. I have never forgotten it.
There's a longer story behind that, but that's neither here nor there for this group. I apologize. The minutes should be winging their way through your email box now. Of course, you won't have time to read them before the meeting.
We're pretty astute, and we can do two things at once.
I move that we accept the minutes as is.
Okay.
Second.
Awesome. All right. NASA picture of the day, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, KE7OSN, coming in from Staten, Oregon.
Thank you, Anthony. And thank you for your time today. We had a little chat on the phone today about radio stuff. Tom,
KK7YZC, north of Corvallis.
Awesome. Tom, it was good to work you on 7QP, and it was, you should have seen the aha moment when you said, yeah, Benton County. I'm like, hey, that's where our club is. And you go, yeah, I'm a member. And I picked the voice out of the crowd and I went, oh, Tom.
Yeah, that was great. It was great to work you.
It's funny when you start working, like, I think I made over 100 contacts. I forget the number, or maybe that was last year's number. I forget. But anyway, it was, you start getting calls and, people's, and all the call signs sound like alphabet soup after a while. But anyway, it was great to hear you. And I'm glad you could make it. Let's see, Mr. Drew from the Northern Outpost.
W3HES coming in from Ocean Park, Washington.
Good to see you, sir. Sorry
Good
to
be
miss you.
seen.
We had some really great food this year. Um, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully next year.
Hopefully.
All right. Mr. Larry,
This is Larry, AF70U in Northwest Corvallis.
good to see you, Larry. We'll see if we can get any updates from you, and I'll ask Glenda if she has any updates per our normal for any outreach. So we'll call upon you if there's anything to report. Scott,
Hello, everybody. KF7GGN checking in from Northwest Corvallis too. I think I'm pretty close to Larry there.
so I think I should call you Professor Scott too, because you do the ham radio classes. But anyway,
Professor
good
Hamley.
to see you, sir.
And Vivian says hi, Scott.
Oh,
Yes, I had a nice conversation with her today. In
okay.
French.
Next up, we have Tyler.
Tyler Parsons, WB7DD, located about 1 mile south of downtown Corvallis.
Good to see you, Tyler. And Diana the cat will show up later, I'm sure. And is her call sign ME0W? Just curious. Anyway, all right, Glenda.
Hello.
Hi, Glenda. Glad you could make it. Hope you're having a great time on your walk. We understand you may be distracted on occasion, so thank you for joining us. All right. Let's see here. I want to just state something and I said this the other day and I wrote it down and I want to just reiterate it. My desire is to have a thriving club with great participation by members where possible. So please think if there's a role that you currently enjoy and would be able to remain in it, or if someone would be willing to step in a role, that would be great too. Anything goes with any innovative ideas. We already have a couple of staple times where we get together. We wish it was more often. And we came up with the idea of Picnic and POTA. Field Day has been around for a long time. 7QP, led by Mike and other clubs around in the area. So those are great ideas. We're looking for more to see if there's maybe another opportunity to get together to do more things. So please think about those ideas and maybe come up with some what would it be, and to be social or radio or both. Hence the Picnic and POTA, because hams love radios and food, so it was an easy win, right? So anyway, keep those in mind. Feel free to reach out to me. My call sign at arrl.net is an easy way to do it. Or just raise your hand at the end of the meeting and we'll get together and we'll stay on a little longer and chat some more. So Secretary's report, we'll go to Ted. Thank you for sending out the meeting message, the meeting minutes, sorry. Anything else?
Yeah, anything else? You guys need a new secretary.
You did fine, Ted. Thank you very much for your service. We appreciate it. And as we get into the summer months, we know that, we all have plans and I will do my best to be at every meeting. And I do appreciate anybody who can pick up the agenda if I am unavailable. I think next month, I'll have to look at the date. I'm going to be out of the country. I forget if it's going to overlap. I will take a look at it at the next break. Okay. Thank you, Ted. Treasurer's report. Andy?
Yeah. Is my audio on?
It is. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and share textually what you're going to talk about while we're doing it here.
Okay, the treasurer's report for today, Monday, May 18. Our OSU checking account has $1,187.13. Our savings is $2,489.26. So our total OSU balance is $3,676.39. Our PayPal account balance is $233.73. Our Square Up balance is 81 cents. Our cash on hand is 28 cents. Our total monetary asset is $3,916.21.
Okay.
And upcoming, we'll have to file our Oregon State corporate reports. First one will be due in June, and the second one will be due in August. I will fill them out and file it and send copies of the filled out ones to everybody on the board so that everybody knows what they look like in case I need some assistance in filing in future years.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
Andy. Andy, you said some numbers that were just about $5 difference. If you could just make sure that you send the final numbers to Ted so that he can get them in the newsletter. It was like $5 off. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Or maybe you just read it prior to or after the decimal point. One of the two. It's okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I made a $5 error that I corrected. So
Gotcha.
I'll send the corrected thing.
You were just looking to see if I was paying attention, weren't you? All right. Ron, anything on the website?
Well, I did today, got last month's meeting up on the Facebook link. So there is one of the links in there that go back for years to link you to all of our meetings. If anybody's got photos to share, get them my way, and especially for like 7QP, I'll get them up there. And one other thing I'll throw out there, I did have fun converting the all my log down output into Poto contacts, and ended up writing a little VBA thing in Excel to do it. So that was kind of a fun thing since we went up to 7QP. So got a little software tool now to go from the N1MM tool to dumping them all into a spreadsheet and then putting them out.
That's awesome, Ron. That's great. I think the POTA community would appreciate that, even if they had to change some variables. So, because I have the command of the screen here, for those of you, so peakradio.org is our website, and underneath, hidden under this home menu, you will see that there is a bunch of different series of pictures from different events. Otherwise, you can get the link to the Repeater Association repeater site here. There's the repeater donation link if you want to make a donation to the W7PRA repeater nodes, and there's the list of repeaters that are run by Chris, AB7BS, are right here. I'm not going to go through them because there's quite a bit. I think there's almost 60 at this time. Looks like 50. At least on this list anyway, there's 50 rows. So there might have been some that have been taken down, and that's fine due to coverage, but this is kept up to date on the website. And of course, I've always mentioned that there's a Facebook page. I'm not going to go through that right now, but it's on the meeting minutes for just about every other month. So feel free. And again, 7QP for 2026. Thank you, Ron, for being fastidious about getting those pictures up. You can see them all right here. You can see the vast amount of space in trees and happy faces. And that's because we were eating, of course. And then there's Ron. There's Paul and Mike. There's yours truly. There's some food. There's my wife, Sasha. And there's a couple of pictures of Vivian in here too. There she is. There's Vivian and Sasha making something, I think, pork in the camper. So, what else was there? Let's see, the DX, let's see that one. DX, that was what I wanted to share. One last cheap plug. If anybody is interested in winning an ICOM 7300 Mark II, you can go to this website for Gigaparts. It's right there on the sweepstakes part. I'm a big fan. I go there every day and I just type in my call sign. There it is. And I just fill it in. It's just quick, easy peasy. And then you have an ability to put yourself in an entry. So cheap plug for Gigaparts. They don't bother you. It's there for you to go to their website, get some traffic, go do some shopping maybe. But you can somebody just won one about 2 weeks ago, and they just started another sweepstakes right away, like the next day. All right. If anybody has any pictures, I know I went off script here a little bit. Right. If anybody has any pictures, any ham related events, any POTA activations, don't be shy if you've done something. Take a selfie. Went to a park or something, or anything from 7QP where you're sitting at your station. It's all part of the club's effort. It doesn't have to be at the Prineville location. So hint, Tom.
Yeah, I would love to post some POTA pictures up there. I could just create POTA shots.
Awesome. I like it. And in fact, POTA and locations, and see how many different locations some of the some of the club members can activate. I know I've got one in mind, and I just haven't done it yet. Okay, great. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate your support in that. The repeater report, there's nothing new under the sun, except there's the list. And then, of course, there's the Facebook group, which I've spoken about many times, so I'm not going to repeat it here. Past events, I have two things. Dayton Hamvention, which is not exactly around the corner for us, but did anybody go, or did anybody have any reports from the Dayton Hamvention from, for yourself or for anybody else that may have gone? Okay.
It is a good time if you're looking for sales for buying a new rig or
Yep.
equipment, or other little components and stuff. You can usually find some discounts out there to take and save some money.
Thanks, Mike. Yes. I've been about 4 times in my ham career. Always a great time. It's one of the largest. It is the largest ham fest I've ever been to. I've never been outside of the United States, so I can't compare. But it has been in the past about 5 times bigger than CPAC if you're looking for a comparison. Maybe a little larger. Okay. Past events. We're now past 7QP. Mike, do you want to say anything about that event?
At this point in time, the logs have all been submitted. Looks like they're still willing to take other logs, looking at their website. But they have not posted any results. So usually it's pretty quick, usually within a week that they usually end up posting it. So I hope sometime this week we can see some results, and then I'll share that with everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. I saw the preliminary results that you posted on the 7QP reflector, and I was very pleased with the outcome. So here's a lesson learned. I had a bad small component on my antenna, and I had very low noise on my radio while I was out there. And thanks to Paul W7PEB and Mike giving me some advice, we isolated the component, which was a wrapped ferrite with a small piece of coax about 8 inches long, which just provided very minimal connectivity. As soon as I took that out of the loop, I was able to hear a whole lot more stations. So my accounts for QSOs this year were a little bit low. So the lessons learned are test your equipment before you go. And again, thank you, Mike, for leading this effort and sending out the emails and reminders, and everybody that had their hand in it. It was all hands on deck for setting up and tearing down, as always. So thank you. It was a great event. The weather, whoever ordered the weather, thank you. There was zero wind, and there was absolute, just complete sunny days and beautiful sunsets. And you can even see some on the website that Ron posted.
Yeah, I do have found my little problem. This was an intermittent. This connection right here is, I haven't cut it apart yet, but is intermittent and was causing me weird tunes every once in a while that would not tune up correctly. And so again, it wasn't until I got home, started going through it. Actually, when I was back out after getting home, down at East Fort Rock, that I actually figured out that this was the guy giving me the problem. So this was the coax that went between my transceiver and the amplifier.
It's always the smallest little component.
Yep.
So it seems. So there's a lesson for anybody who's trying to do this for, just first, second, third, or fourth time. Awesome. Thank you, Mike, for sharing that. We'll go into some outreach, and then we'll go into a quick discussion on field day. So any outreach. So Larry, I'll put you up first and see if there's anything new with the Pacific Crest Council Radio Club. Is there any needs?
Not really anything new. We're still kind of in our organizing phase. We had a venture crew that we're setting up. It looks like we're hoping that by the end of the month we'll have the last person we need, so that we can actually file the paperwork to form that venture crew, and then we'll have some scouts involved, and then hopefully we'll see how things take off.
Awesome. Is that
based
out of Corvallis, Larry? I forgot. Is that based out of Corvallis?
No, it'll be based it's going to be council-wide, the venture crew. So a lot of the people I think who are initially in it are probably more in the Eugene area.
Okay.
But this particular crew is not just based out of a small district, but it's going to be all the districts in the council. So it's going to be like about a quarter of the state.
Wow.
The lower kind of southwest part of the state, from Corvallis all the way down to the border.
Okay. Does that sound like a lot of Lane County-ish then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the venture crew has to have a chartering organization, and that chartering organization is the Eugene Area Radio Club.
Awesome.
And they're sponsoring it because we need to have some an organization to be the sponsor for it. So they're going to be sponsoring. That's mainly because the person who's organizing the venture crew is a member of that club and gotten them all excited about it. So
awesome.
Anxious to see how this all works out once we get things going.
Yeah, keep us posted. I'm now south of Eugene, in my living quarters. So, yeah, keep us posted. Thank you. Glenda, I don't know if you've been able to return. It looks like you're joined back. Do you have anything to add about the Girl Scout outreach program?
I don't have any details right now, but we're trying to work on some workshops that I think have to do with like emergency response sort of things. And now that I finally have more radio gear and equipment, I have more to show. And so I'm hoping to do more of that with the Girl Scouts at spring and summer camps and through these workshops we'll have throughout hopefully this next year. So I've got the whole summer to plan for it, I think.
Awesome. I want to put a quick plug out and a hand clap for Glenda, who passed her general exam just recently. I was very excited to see that when you emailed me. So I'm going to put in a cheap plug. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to the world of HF.
Thank you.
Yes. And please, not just around the screen here, but on the Google groups, feel free to don't be shy about asking questions. there's always somebody who can share their insight or lend a hand.
So,
Okay.
so when are you
Thank
gonna
you.
go? When are you gonna go for your extra class?
My goal is 3 months from now. I want to play in the HF privileges a little bit, get to know the general, and then start studying.
It
So,
helps to practice the craft in HF for a little while before you step into that. But
mhm. But I
that's
am going to get it.
but I'll tell you what, that extra class, it allows you or gives you permission to ask those really hard questions.
hmm That sounds
Awesome.
good. I will take my time with the general and
Yeah.
getting to know that well.
No,
Yeah.
that was good advice, Mike. Yeah, definitely get some time in the seat with HF, either through your own station or any remote station or just even field day or POTA or anything. And
And I've learned a lot from the field days and the POTAs, watching all of you
good.
and getting to try different equipment helped me to hone in on what I wanted to get. So
Good. What did you have you decided on any equipment or antennas at this time, or are you still thinking about it?
I posted a picture. I don't know if you can see it in chat. I went with the Yaesu FT891 and a JPC 12 antenna for HF.
Nice. That's great.
That's going to
I
be
didn't
my
have
field
the
day and POTA setup
oh, there
in
it
the
is.
picture.
There it is. Oh, it's still trying to update.
Okay.
I haven't paid my Starlink bill yet, I apparently. Um,
I learned how to put on Anderson power connectors. I did not like that.
I have a special tool that will help you and it will make it a whole lot easier.
Seems like the thing to have is the right crimpers.
Yes. Yes. And there's plenty of us around that have those things. So feel free again, reach out and say, I'd like to improve this or whatever. We've got a lot of experience and tools that we can loan out if need be.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Congratulations. Okay, so we're not going to do any specific program on field day. I think many of us know what field day is. I'm going to do as best I can to dragnet as many people to field day as possible. Hams love radios and food. And so I will make sure that make sure that I mention both. And so if you've got an appetite for one or the other, it should bring us there. And we're going to be at Mike Willamette Park. Yes. Okay. So we'll be back at Willamette Park. It's not the same park. It's not the park that we were at last year. If you were there, we had to do a one-off year. So we're going to be back at the south end of Corvallis, over by where the floaters start their float down the river to Albany or Corvallis or wherever they're going. It's where we've been for many years. There's a lot of good tree separation. It does get warm. I'm not going to go through the whole laundry list, but pack as if you're camping, bring your own hydration, whatever. We'll have some common food and we'll have some time together and certainly, show up for as much as you can to help out setting up. You'll learn so much in that respect. And of course, Teardown is always appreciative as well. And between Mike and myself, we'll have some emails out to Ham Club Online and whatever, maybe Google Groups or whatever the situation demands. But we're looking to get exposure to the public. Tell them you might even have a chance to put down the headset and the microphone and start talking to somebody, because the questions have always been every year, are you talking to outer space? You're right. And then there's the other one is this government? And the next one is what is this and why are you in my dog walk path? Those are the four questions that we typically get. And we just smile. So I have an upcoming or any new business any new business that anybody would like to bring forth? This would be a good time to do it.
Paul, group, I don't know if this really counts, but we're, as Anthony well knows, we're going to be doing another tech class in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this last weekend, so it's coming up pretty quick. So if anybody knows anybody who wants to take class and lives in this area, especially, let them know. They can go on the Benton County Area's website and get all the information. I'm gonna try to do for the first time a Zoom as well as in-person hybrid type of class this time, because we already had 20 something people signed up 6 weeks out. So like, back in April, it was already filled up. So, and there's more people that want to do it. So I think the only realistic way to do something like that, because we don't even have the space in the classroom we kind of do, but it'd be easier. I think a lot of people would appreciate like having a Zoom component to it. So we're gonna try to set that up this time with Anthony's help.
Do you have? I missed something, Scott. I got distracted. Was there a date for that, or is that?
Oh, I didn't mention it. Yeah, I said 2 weeks, but it starts on the 29th, going through the 31st. So it's the very last weekend of May. And,
29, 31.
Yeah, so typically we start the Friday. In this case, that'll be the 29th. It goes from 6 p.m. to 9. And then Saturday all day from 9 a.m. to 5, approximately 5 p.m. And then Sunday morning we'll do a review for those students who might be interested, and then the exam will start at 1 o'clock on Sunday the 31st. So that's kind of how it will go.
And for those who may not need the class, but they can still sign up for the exam piece, right?
Oh, yeah. So if it's a Zoom especially, that might be very convenient, and people can certainly, we don't discriminate. Anybody who wants to be in on the class, they don't have to necessarily, they could already have a license. They could be a general for that matter. Just get a review. And we can definitely accommodate that. So the big issue is going to be, I think, the exam, because if we have all those people that want to take the exam. I think that in the past we talked about doing shifts, for the exam to get everybody accommodated. Because most people finish the exam within about half an hour anyway.
Sure.
So it doesn't take that much time.
And this is the tech class, but the
class.
exam is any class, right?
What's that? For the exam, yes. Yeah, the exam is open to anybody. Anybody wants to upgrade, general or extra or both or whatever.
If they're coming in on Zoom, how are they going to take the test?
Well, they'll have to either come in person for the test or make other arrangements for the test.
Yeah, they're not obliged to take our test. They can do it online. Like for instance, Scott Rosenfeld, N7JI, our Oregon section manager, he's doing a class this coming up weekend for Memorial Day weekend. And then he doesn't give a test, but they have an arrangement with people who are online and give online testing, and some of the students can do that. Now he gets upwards of a couple hundred people because it's not restricted to this area. He gets people from all over the country. The last time he did the class on Zoom, I helped him. I fielded the chat questions, and so I think we had like 250 people, something like that. And then what they did was they either made their own arrangements to take a test, like online, or they went to a local in-person test session that would be coming up for them. So they had the class, and then they would study on their own, and then go to like for instance, the Valley Radio Club will give a test once a month, so people could just go to a regular old in-person test session that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Anthony, for hosting those events locally or remotely. Does anybody have any questions about what Scott or Anthony are providing coming up on May 29th through the 31st? Okay, feel free to use the PRA reflector and even Ham Club Online if you want to extend that invitation out. That is an appropriate use always.
Okay.
of that kind of thing. And if you need any help with that, please just contact me.
Thanks, Paul.
Anthony, obviously has, we do this routinely, sending out messages, so this is pretty easy. Okay. Any other topics of any new interest or anything we may have forgotten, because things fly over my head sometimes and not through the years. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and close the meeting for tonight, and definitely get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather and do some POTA activity. As I told my wife, I said, I need to go nuclear and get radioactive a little bit more often. And she just did the old, like, okay, thanks for the dad joke. So yeah, get out there and enjoy the weather, and share the hobby with others who are curious, who don't know how to even get a hold of it. What I've found in some of the people that have reached out to me, because I'm listed as the president on the website, is they'll reach out to me and go, hey, I'm trying to come up with a family plan for communication and not everybody's a ham. What do I do? I've had a number of phone calls from, just spending some time on phones, talking about FRS and GMRS, and those capabilities about, getting them what they need for the moment. So it's all, we're radio communicators. It doesn't matter which tool we use, but we're licensed to use this one, which has the most capabilities outside of the military, as I like to call it. So, yes,
Paul,
Scott.
I have one more thing to say. This last weekend was, first of all, there was I think a statewide simulated emergency training exercise for, promulgated by the the Office of Emergency Management for the state of Oregon, and that coincided with we had a Pathfinder exercise also on this weekend, as Anthony well knows. And we so what we did this time, this was the first major Pathfinder since you were involved, Paul. So when we used to go to Camp Riley, this time they did it over at Newport Good Samaritan Hospital, and so we were all set up. We had the participants, the military participation this time was not that big, but we had a lot of the Oregon Disaster Medical Team, which we're part of. And then all the other groups that normally participate in the Pathfinder stuff were there. But, we had our, with Dan Curl, we had our little, comms wing of Oregon Disaster Medical Team. And so we were all set up with Don and Betsy, and then Anthony was remote. And there was another, I think, one or two people that were remote from, based around Oregon. And unfortunately, what happened was our task was to send WinLink messages, okay, on HF and VHF if necessary. So on Friday, we set up on Friday, and then the exercise actually took place just on Saturday. So wouldn't you know, they tested all the WinLink stuff on Friday, and everything worked great, no problems. So the day of the exercise, which was the very next day, nothing worked, and I mean nothing. We had zero ability to make WinLink contacts. And why? Because the sun decided a few days earlier to have a massive coronal mass ejection, I believe, and that hurled a whole bunch of stuff our way. And then by Saturday, it hit. So there were radio blackouts all over the place, and we couldn't get any HF stuff to work at all. So that's part of the reason why I bring this up is because, this is what happens with ham radio. We rely on, when you're on HF, you rely on ionospheric propagation, and if that gets disturbed in a big way, you're not going to have it. So the day we needed it the most, we couldn't do anything. We were absolutely dead in the water.
Well,
So
that just brings in some more resiliency. So it's a positive in the sense of, okay, what do we do now? Right? It's not a failure by any means. It's like, oh, that's a new use case.
Right.
Okay, what do we do? But thank you for participating, Scott and Anthony. I had to bow out this year.
Sure.
due to other commitments.
That's okay. Maybe next year it'll be.
And
Who knows what they're
and
going
Glenda, there's a good reminder for when you plug in your first antenna and you go, "Why isn't it working?"
to. Well, nobody expected. I mean, well, we should have paid attention to the solar weather. To space weather, but if we had, we would have said, "Oh my gosh, there's something coming our way. We better watch out." Well, it hit more than we thought would be in effect. That would be that detrimental. But yeah, exactly. So these things are all learning experiences. You say, okay, and the contingency, or what's the contingency plan? If we have some space weather event that's going to mess us up, where can we go next? So yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for all your participation. Thank you for all of your pictures. All the different things that you've contributed, any web links that we've shared, all the good talks from Mike about power stations, portable and otherwise. And another great meeting. So thank you. Any other topics? Last call for topics here before we close the meeting. All right. We'll see you next month, and you just keep an eye out for those messages on Field Day. I'd love to see everybody and bring a guest, right? And the only thing I'm going to look for is a head count. That's my big thing, because probably I'm just I've done it before. I'm willing to do it again. I'll be putting out a food menu, and anybody who can help out with that, great. I'll probably have ample help, so bring a radio and get on the air and test out some things that you'd like to do.
Sounds good.
It's good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. You too. Drew, you going to try to make it down, or are you going to do your own field day up there?
I'm not sure what I'm doing for field day. My next thing is CPAC.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, Drew.
All right.
We will see you there.
Take care, everybody. Keep an eye out for those emails.
Okay.
I guess the one other thing I can recommend is if anybody needs a cheap portable handheld radio, let me know. I've got a couple extras.
Okay.
So
awesome. Feel free to put that on the reflector,
yeah,
Drew, because there's probably going to be a few people going up to where you are, and you can just swap them right there.
Yep. I'll verify which ones they are, but yeah.
Awesome. Excellent. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Have a great night.